It's been a household name in US retail for decades, and it's been a solid performer over the last few years. But given its disappointing performance this year, is there actually much upside left for Walmart? I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at Walmart. A longer term look, we've got earnings coming out this month. If we go back over the last 5 years, you can see here, nice steady trend, solid blue chip performer. Although this year has been perhaps a bit underwhelming for some investors. We saw the stock hit fresh all-time highs in November of last year. Pretty volatile year so far this year, but only a small change on the year so far. So as usual in this video, I'll talk a bit more about the recent earnings, what to look out for in the earnings that are coming up. Then we'll come back onto the platform and see where the opportunities might be from a technical point of view.
Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought this time round on the Stocks channel, we'd take a look at the US retail giant Walmart. It's been a strong and steady performer over the years. The company's earnings is coming up soon this month, so I thought let's take a look at some of the recent news and then jump back onto the charts and take a look at the technicals. As usual, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel, and it means we can continue to push out lots of different content on the various stocks that we look at throughout the week. Right, let's get into it and take a look at Walmart in a bit more detail. So a bit of history, first of all. US retailer, founded in 1962 and was listed on the New York Stock Exchange in 1972. So you've been able to buy stock in Walmart for almost 50 years. It's been a strong performer, strong and steady over the years as a blue chip stock. If we look back over the last 5 years, so since the summer of 2016, the stock has slightly more than doubled in that period. So that is a steady performance, although this year has perhaps been a little bit more disappointing given what the broader market has done. Walmart stock is up only around 3%. The company had a bit of a lift when its earnings came out in May. The market was expecting earnings per share of around about $1.20, and these came in at $1.69. So beating expectations, a bit of a lift in the days after that, but then fairly subdued trading. It holds the title of the world's largest private sector employer, which gives us, I think, something of a sense of the size of the company. But is that a drawback when it comes to investors? A company this big, can it really achieve sort of stellar growth from here that gets reflected in its stock price? I think that's one concern investors have. It is taking on the likes of Amazon, of course, with its online offering. But even so, even though it is seeing good revenue growth there on the e-commerce side, still the bulk of its business comes from its bricks and mortar stores. So the next earnings are due out on the 17th of August. The market expectation is of earnings per share of around $1.50. Are we going to see it manage to take out and set fresh all-time highs? Let's look at some of the levels to watch, then we'll jump on the chart and look at some of the technicals. So for me, the most immediate hurdle is around $150 a share. After that, we've got the all-time highs. They were set in December of last year. They're coming in at $153.60. So it'd be interesting to see if, as the year goes on, the stock can break out through here and move out to fresh all-time highs. We've got lots of support left on the way up. The most immediate for me comes in from last month, just ahead of $138. But as usual, to put some color on these numbers, let's take a look at the charts and the technicals in a bit more detail.
I thought we'd start things off with the really long-term view for Walmart. So I got it going back to 2015. So we've got 6 years worth of data here. You can see the low made in late November 2015. And since then, we've seen the price just in this broader, longer-term uptrend. I've put a 50-day moving average on this time round. So a slightly longer-term moving average. We get buy signals from moving averages when the price moves above, like here in April of last year. Sell signals when the price moves below, which would have been December of last year. And when the market goes sideways, moving averages can get a bit choppy and a bit caught up in just the sideways trading. The last signal we had for the moving average was around about the beginning of July, with the price crossing above that more longer term moving average than normal, the 50-day moving average, suggesting it was a buy signal and perhaps we were seeing a recovery starting. And we'll come back and look at the price action and this longer term trend in a bit more detail. For now, the moving average is positive. Let's take a look at the RSI. So we've got a 10-day RSI on Walmart, so fairly short term, 10-day, a couple of trading weeks. On the RSI. The last oversold signal was back in the middle of June when the price was down around $136 a share. We've seen a bounce back since then. And perhaps what might concern some who may be thinking about buying in, that the RSI has gone overbought. This is pretty much the most overbought we've seen the RSI. We've got to go back to September of 2020 to see the RSI this overbought. So it's suggesting, perhaps to some who put weight on RSIs, that in the short to medium term at least, perhaps the price has got a bit overextended. You know, we have seen it move from $140 a share up near $150 in August so far. So a sharp move like that is always going to end up in perhaps an extreme reaction from the RSI. So we'll see if we do see something of a drift back from here. But let's take a look at the price action and the trend in a bit more detail. So here's the big trend off those lows in September 2015. And we can see it did a pretty good job of holding the price up. We've accelerated away from this trend since the end of 2018. So we're, 2.5 years into this more accelerated trend now. So perhaps let's pick up on that from the December 2018 lows. So here's a slightly accelerated trend off those lows. Again, it's done a pretty good job. Let's just zoom things in. So this is where we are in this trend at the moment. The trend line's coming in around $123 for the stock. Not much use, I suppose, at the moment where the stock's up around 150. We have an important low left from back here, around $126. That's from March of this year. So from a longer term point of view, even if we did see the stock price collapse down or lose 10% down towards $130, $125, technical analysts who look at the trend would still consider this to be positive. We're still within that overall trend. No market moves in a straight line. So broadly speaking, this longer term trend for Walmart is still very much intact. I think the next hurdle, if we're going to see this trend continue, the very definition of a trend, of an uptrend, is a succession of higher highs and higher lows, then the next target will be for a run back to these old highs from November of last year, up around $153 for the stock. If we saw it break through there, that would confirm the trend was continuing. So I think that's a really interesting level to watch, particularly going into these earnings. It's only $4 or so away from where we are now. So I think that's really interesting to watch what happens if we do get up near 153, those previous all-time highs. On the downside, from a trading point of view, good short-term support left in the sort of 135 area since March of this year, then bigger support left, as I said, down about 126. So overall, the story from a technical point of view for Walmart it is positive. Okay, the RSI is overbought, is at an extreme, but the moving average is given as a buy signal. The trend, the longer term trend, is still up. Be really interesting to see what happens if it breaks 153. But for now, any weakness back towards 125, 130 doesn't change that overall trend. And many technical analysts would consider that a buying opportunity. Let's see what the earnings deliver.
That's it for the update in Walmart. We'll come back to it and see how it fares after these latest earnings. But for now, from me, David Jones and Capital.com, we'll leave things there. Good luck with your investing.
For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.